Horrible Harry and the Goog by Suzy Kline. The Goog. My name is Doug, and I'm in 3rd grade. I write about what happens in room 3B. Usually my stories are about my best friend Harry, who likes to do horrible things. I never thought I'd write about Harry's cat. He's the reason Harry and I had our first adventure after school. He's the reason we ended up in places at South School where we weren't supposed to be. I can't wait to tell you all about it. But first, there are a few things you need to know about Harry's cat. He likes to do horrible things too. His real name is Googer. Harry calls him the Goog, and, once in a while, Googie. I think he looks scary. He has clumps of gray hair that stick together. Harry says that happens when cats get old and can't groom themselves very well. Harry thinks the Goog's hairdo is cool. I feel sorry for the Goog. Last summer, he lost one eye and hurt his leg when he got caught in a dumpster. The lid came right down on him. He was lucky to escape alive. I went with Harry to the animal hospital when the Goog was being operated on. I remember Harry made a get well Googie card in the waiting room. It had a lot of water spots on it because he was crying so much. The vet stitched up the Goog's left eye, and he was fine afterwards. He just teetered when he walked or ran. Harry and I tried walking around one day like the Goog. We wanted to know what it felt like. It was hard to see with one eye. We didn't like it, so we just limped. Harry takes good care of his cat. He even brushes the Goog's teeth. Googer has his own toothbrush. It's right next to Harry's in the bathroom. But that's not the only thing that grosses me out. When the Goog is licking himself, sometimes he swallows hair and then coughs it up. I hate hairballs, but they don't bother Harry. He wipes them up off the rug and looks at them closely. Way to go, Goog, he cheers. I have to say, though, I have learned a lot about cats from Harry. He knows the Goog has 5 toes on his front paws and 4 toes on his back paws. Harry told me cats can see 6 times better than people in the dark. He also told me cats have nose prints instead of fingerprints. Harry said that's important for detectives to know. Harry thinks he's a detective sometimes. He even carries a plastic magnifying glass and mini flashlight in his pocket. Well, getting back to my story, I never thought the Goog would come to school. Usually he spends the day with Harry's grandmother. She bakes things in her kitchen and sells them. The Goog likes the smell of food, and the kitchen is a warm place for him. During the winter, he also gets to lick the dirty dishes. But today was different. Harry's grandmother came to South School, and the Goog followed her. What's going on in the library? The first part of my story involves a mystery. Our class was just coming back from lunch recess. Miss Mackle was leading us down the hall. Harry and Mary and I were at the end of the line. Look! Mary whispered. There's a sign on the library door. It says it's closed for the rest of the day. Did you see that? I asked. Mrs. Michelson just pulled down the shade on her library door. Something's going on in the library, Mary concluded. I wonder what. Something secret, Harry replied as we stepped into room 3B. We kept whispering while we hung up our winter coats, wool scarves, and caps on the coat rack. I wonder when, Mary said. After school, Harry answered, flinging his cap high on the shelf. After school? Mary and I repeated. Yup, Harry explained. I've got the scoop. Other kids gathered around Harry as he spoke in a low voice. My grandmother is coming at 3:15. She told me she was baking a special cake for South School. But she wouldn't tell me why. She also said Doug and I could play checkers in the hall while she served refreshments in the library. Oh, pooh! Mary groaned. I wish I could stay with you. Me too, Ida said. I saw Mr. Cardini sneak into the library earlier today with a rolled-up poster, Dexter added. Do you think it's a picture of Elvis? I doubt it, Dex, Ida replied. What's the date today? Mary demanded. February 1st, Song-Lee said. It isn't a holiday. Sid held up a finger. I bet they're having a party for the teachers after school. Or, Zuzu added, a party for one teacher. Harry nodded. Zuzu was the sharp new student who moved to room 3B in December. He and Harry liked to think hard. I bet I know. Mary exclaimed. Some teacher is turning 40 or 50. Mr. Cardini's poster probably says, over the hill. That's what the sign said for my Aunt Hilda when she turned 40. I like going over the hill, Song-Lee said. There's a beautiful view. Before any of us could explain to Song-Lee what that meant, Miss Mackle motioned for us to hurry up. Time for math, she called. Harry shrugged. Well, he whispered, Doug and I will give you guys the details tomorrow. Mary got a long face. When the 3:00 bell rang, the only ones smiling were Harry, me, and Miss Mackle. Nobody wanted to go home. Not the kids that ride the bus or the kids that walk. Mary was the last one to say goodbye to us. You'd better tell us every juicy detail tomorrow. Then she gritted her teeth and muttered, some people are so lucky. The Goog comes to school. I was feeling lucky. I go to Harry's house every Wednesday to play. But today we got to stay after school for a while. The whole adventure got started when we were sitting on the back steps of South School, just waiting for Harry's grandmother. Our custodian was bending over, putting a doorstop in the door. Hi, Mr. Beausoleil, Harry said. When he stood up, he greeted us. Hi, boys. Hold your nose, I've got some smelly bags of garbage. I held my nose. Harry didn't, of course. He loves horrible smells. Is that leftover fish sticks? Yup. And leftover broccoli. Ew, I moaned. Just as our custodian hauled the garbage out to the dumpster, Harry's grandmother pulled up in her red pickup truck. She parked it in the teacher's parking lot and headed our way. She was wearing a winter sweater and an apron that said A1 Cakes. I couldn't keep my eyes off the big white box in her arms. It was so huge. That rascal! Harry exclaimed. He's done it again. What? I said. I'll take care of it. Harry snapped. Then he ran to his grandma and gave her a big hug. Hi, lamb chop, she said. She flashed a toothy smile, just like Harry does. Hi, Doug. Hi, Grandma Spudger. Let's hurry on in, boys, she replied. A1 Cakes can't be late. As soon as we got to the library, she told Harry to take out his checkers from his backpack. Have fun in the hallway here, boys. I shouldn't be more than 10 minutes cutting this cake. What's going on? I blurted out. Is someone turning 40? I don't think so, Grandma Spudger replied. This is no birthday party. Be good, boys. As soon as she went inside the library, I looked at Harry. He had quickly lined up 2 rows of black checkers and 2 rows of red on the board. I thought you were a detective. How come you didn't ask your grandma any questions? Harry put his nose next to mine. You're on the wrong case, Duggo, he groaned. Let's go. I shrugged as I followed Harry down the hall to the back entrance of the school. Mr. Beausoleil had taken the doorstop away. My grandma didn't bring just a cake to school, Harry groaned. She brought the Goog too, only she didn't know it. He was in the truck. In the back, Harry said, opening the door. He hopped a ride. He does it all the time. Why didn't you tell your grandma? She was too busy. I knew I could rescue the Goog on my own. I've done it before. As I held the door, Harry stepped outside and looked in one direction only. Yup, he whispered. There he is. I couldn't believe my eyes. There was the Goog, sniffing around the dumpster. The lid at the top was still open. He loves fish sticks, Harry grumbled. Stay here and hold the door, Doug. I'll be right back. I watched Harry sneak down the school steps and then tiptoe over to his cat. The Goog was looking up at the top of the dumpster and getting ready to leap. His tail was tucked under him. Harry lunged forward and grabbed the Goog. Aha! Gotcha, Googie, he exclaimed, holding him tight. Harry scolded his cat all the way back up the school steps. You did it again. You jumped in the back of Grandma's truck. This time you got a free ride to South School. So you thought you'd get a few leftover fish sticks, huh? The Goog put his paws on Harry's shoulder. He seemed to be content for the moment. Harry kept bawling him out. Do you want to lose another eye? Huh? Just as Harry stepped inside the school, I let the door close. The slamming noise